It's game time.
Cool. Uh-oh. What's going on? Well, that's one problem fixed. What's going on? Oh, I forgot to switch it from Helldivers. That's what I did. Got to switch it. There we go. Alright. Alright. So
I
we
am at your service.
I think we spent plenty of time here.
Let's not waste time with pleasantries.
That's exactly right. Let's not waste time with pleasantries.
Keep your wits about you.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out. I'll go back to the ship. I think I've done all I can do here. Fire him off. Oh yeah, there's still like stuff over there. Oh, that's the way there. I want to wait. No. No, that's not where I want. Okay, so they're still torching it. Okay, so I can't go in that way. Oh, like athletics?
Let us not dawdle.
Nothing I can do. There's this elevator shaft here, but I can't use it. I can't do anything with it! Alright. Wait, is that where I want to go? Dreams and stories. That's where I want to go. Oh. Adopticon 22 extends his official greetings and invites you to asynchronous communication. Ooh. Convergence point to Dock Alpha Road. Communication discharge of contract Logisticar Theta. I wonder what that is. I remember that contract. Theodore made that 25, 30 years
I always
ago.
keep my options open.
Okay. I received an invitation to a meeting. Confirmed. I wish to discharge reciprocally validate the mutual contractual obligation designated Logisticar Theta. Under the contractual obligation in question, 34.761 teraseconds ago, the Explorer Recognizance Fleet received from representatives authorized units of the Von Valancius dynasty a volume of high-grade promethium equal to the fuel capacity of 6 Tantalian void tankers. Egg. Received it, and then didn't pay. Compensate. Remunerate. Remunerate. Settle accounts. Should I go on, or is that enough synonyms? The stipulated payment reciprocal offering from the Cognizance fleet can be made to Von Valancia's assets at the current time, after which the contractual obligation will be fulfilled archived. Confirm your status regarding the acceptance of the payment reciprocal offering. Ooh. Nice. The contractual obligation Logisticar Theta is concluded. The Cognizance fleet thanks House Von Valancius for its cooperation. The status of the unit's requests will be increased. 5,000.
Rise to the top or get left in the dust.
Nice, that popped us up a little bit. Oh, wait, go back. Oh. Heinrich! Lord Captain! Honored interrogator, what a surprise. Did you perchance leave something in your cabin? Not at all, First Officer Wassarian. I'm not in the habit of leaving a trail, but I thank you for your concern. I'm pleased to see you again, Heinrich. I'm glad to hear that my presence aboard your ship did not leave you with any unpleasant memories. I hope your disposition won't change once I have explained the reason for my visit. Uh-oh. I was able to contact my mentor and report the tragic events that transpired on Rykad Manoris. I also received some information from my agents regarding the movements and actions of enemies of humanity, including the Xenos that we're assuming were involved in the theft of the star. According to their findings, the threat now hangs over other worlds. This time, yours, Lord Captain. Ahem. By the order of Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcazar, whose duty is to stand sentinel over the Coronis Expanse, the rogue trader of House von Valancius is to take on board the agent of the Most Holy Inquisition, and provide escort and support in deeds great and small that serve to safeguard the territories of the Imperium against its enemies. This decree is effective immediately upon announcement, and it remains in effect until decided otherwise by His Excellency Calcazar. Why? The cause is the activity of humanity's enemies, including the cult of the Final Dawn. In my absence, the situation in the Coronis Expanse has changed. I have received an exhaustive report from my agents. This heresy has taken root in the region where von Valancius worlds lie. You probably already know the fate of the industrial world of Kiavagama. If not, then I will share what details I know. But not here. Better to talk on board where we will not be overheard. I welcome the agents with the Golden Throne aboard my ship and take on the responsibility of assisting him in the fight. If duty has brought you aboard the rogue trader ship once more, then such is the Emperor's will. Welcome back, Interrogator. Thank you, sister. It is an honor to be traveling with one of the blessed Adeptus Sororitas. Master Van Calix. Since you are with us once more, I do hope you will find time to finish our conversation about the literary works of Kronhaller the Blessed. I will make every effort, Lady Arcelio. I must also deliver this to you. The Lord Inquisitor specified that the contents of this envelope are for your eyes only. I would ask that you read it as soon as you have the time. That is everything for the time being. Are you headed to the ship, or do you still have business on footfall? Whatever the case, I can either wait for you on board or accompany you. Oh, we got a lot of talking to do on ship. No. I want to make a trade deal. Yeah, 60 Medicaid. No, alright, that's all I'm gonna get.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Every time. Lord Captain, the inspection of the ship's systems is complete. The tech priests are reporting the machine spirits are calm and satisfied. Everything is ready for onward travel. Except, there is an issue you must be aware of. There is an issue you must be made aware of. Words. Cassia makes a quick nervous gesture. I have been studying the records left by the vessel's previous navigator. I wanted to double-check the route to Dargonis and discovered that it does not match the one recorded in the atlas. It is more than a minor warp fluctuation. The route has been wiped out. It can no longer be used for traveling. To make matters worse, I started checking the paths from the atlas one after the other, and saw the same thing everywhere. The warp is roiling with an ominous storm. Cicatrix maledictum. Bursting with vivid and screaming colors. It will not hinder our movement, but all previous knowledge is now utterly useless. Warp storms are our enemies just like heretics and demons. It is a shame they cannot be dispersed with a flamer or a bolter. How pragmatic. Now, can we be certain that the problems with astropathic communication in the Coronis Expanse are no coincidence? There is a warp disturbance in your way, Lord Captain. It is swallowing messages and disrupting familiar routes. This means you need to locate the key worlds of the Von Valancius Protectorate as soon as possible. I am talking about Janus, Dargonis, and Kiavagama. Charting new routes so that they can be reached and restoring control will be the next necessary step. No, I know the answer to that. It would be bad if I lost contact. What about Janus? What is it? The surface of Janus was altered extensively so the planet could be designated an agri-world. It is a powerful food base capable of supplying the burgeoning Protectorate and exporting provisions to the outer worlds at the same time. Janus owes much of its prosperity to the Governor House of Vyat. Under its leadership, the world has grown ever more prosperous year after year, securing shipments and taxes while keeping the workforce tightly controlled. I wonder what's going to happen there when we get there. What about Kiavagama? It's an industrial world. It is. Oh, something happened there. Yeah, that's the one that he was talking about. Heinrichs. is being managed by the Governor House of Gaprak, and supplies your protectorate with rare mineral resources. Additionally, the planet features an Adeptus Mechanicus Manufactorum that processes materials and prepares them for shipment. I testify that Kavagama is a world marked by the Omnissiah's patronage. By his grace, the manufactorums of the colony are inhabited by the committed and industrious machine spirits. Mistress Tolliman neglected to mention that the Kiavagama Manufactorum also supplies heavy machinery, from forage harvesters to vessel systems and components. You display commendable knowledge of our world's manufacturing capability, Von Calix. Pleased to be of service. And what about Dargonis? Is the heart and soul of your protectorate. It is where the main administrative resources and storage facilities are, and so is the Von Valancia's palace. If you would like to know, this is where you will publicly accept the title of Rogue Trader. Dargonis is a major administrative hub that runs the cargo fleet and keeps track of finances. Ablar, what do you think? Rediscovering the agri-world will supply your protectorate with something none of your servants can do without: sustenance. The importance of basic supplies should not be underestimated. Just look at Footfall in its current pitiful state. True enough. On the other hand, I am concerned by the rumors concerning Kiavagama. There have been no problems on Janus for many years, but something is very wrong with the industrial world right now. Delay may cost us the entire planet. I trust I do not have to explain the capital world. Losing it would make us the laughingstock of the other dynasties. Besides the loss of chronicles and ledgers would spell a bureaucratic catastrophe. So all three systems are equally vital to the Protectorate. It falls to you to decide which should be brought into the fold before the rest, Lord Captain. That is all, Lord Captain. The vessel and the crew await your instructions and are ready to depart Footfall immediately, should you so desire. Well, I do desire. But first, we need to go talk to some of our shipmates. Oh, he's like right in front of me. Higher.
Yes, but not here. I wouldn't want our conversation to be gossip fodder on the bridge and in the officers' mess.
Oh, come on. Thank you for finding an opportunity to talk. I trust now would be a good time to explain the reason for my return aboard your ship. I welcome the chance to assist the Inquisition with its inquiries. Lord Captain, your enthusiasm is commendable. To business, then. The cult of the Final Dawn. The madmen preach their heretical doctrine among the denizens of the Coronis Expanse, and instigate crimes against the throne and humanity. One such crime took place in your protectorate. The Lord Inquisitor considered it necessary to have one of his acolytes accompany the rogue trader on the voyage into the corrupted region. I also need to meet with one of my observers on the capital world of your domain. Oh, I thought you needed to go to Janus. Why would Ordo Xenosages investigate a chaos cult? You are well versed in how the Inquisition is organized, Aubrey. Yes, initially our arrival in the Cronus Expanse was dictated by the need to fight Xenos. But there is more. The cult is tangentially related to my main specialization. Perhaps I will be able to reveal the full truth someday, but right now I ask you to display humility and patience. Are you accusing me of heresy? Chaos treads softly, Aubrey. The main danger of secret cults and sects is that they are like seeds. They can remain in the ground for decades, safe from all scrutiny, until an opportunity to sprout, grow, and bear monstrous fruit presents itself. The emergence of a cult of one of the rogue traders' planets does not mean the dynasty head himself is a chaos worshipper. Having said that, it should be noted that Theodora von Valancius was famous for her loose interpretation of the freedoms granted by the warrant. A bloodline can be stained by ancestral transgressions. If it is indeed so, it is in your best interests to do whatever is necessary to redeem yourself, and then, perhaps, you will get a chance to salvage your dynasty's reputation. Oh, lenience. That is correct. I should show greater tolerance for the mistakes of a newly appointed rogue trader. To be frank, I am surprised. The Lord Inquisitor is not the type to indulge the weakness of soul and mind, even in someone who only recently accepted the burden of a lofty title. No, that's just... The rogue trader should deliver me to the system that contains the industrial world of Kiabagama. I will then accompany you to the surface and determine what the cult is planning, and how it intends to use the resources that have fallen into their clutches, which may very well include the blessed engines of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and even the followers of the Omnissiah themselves. I will be frank. The answer to this question is unlikely to please either of us. The machinations of chaos usually go beyond solely inflicting countless deaths and destruction. Having their plans come to fruition would lead to far more terrible consequences. One of the systems in the Coronis Expanse is already lost. Maybe the Emperor protect us from watching this tragedy play out again. What if that happens again? On Rykad Minoris, you made a decision that sent billions of souls into the grasp of the archenemy, an unreasonable and unforgettably high price for a small handful of people saved by your mercy. Do I consider it a worthy exchange? I most certainly do not. Will I make every effort to make sure such an exchange does not happen again? Of course I will. Sentimentality is a luxury I cannot afford. I haven't said I would not like to be able to afford such luxury. In fact, deep down I understand why you acted that way. I have yet to eliminate the understanding and acceptance within myself, but I will. I guess, yeah, that's what it takes to be an Inquisitor. Holy crap. I have no doubt it will happen sooner or later, however. Chaos Marines siding with the cult is very, very bad news. Most likely they kept away until recently, pulling their puppet strings from a respectable distance. These traitors seldom show up alone. The best we can count on is having to deal with just a squad of Chaos Space Marines in the Coronis Expanse, and not an entire company. That would suck. A whole company of Chaos Space Marines? Oh my god. I don't even know if we'd be able to even fight that off. Especially if they're word bearers. Oh my god. That would not be fun times. A commendable aspiration for a person who holds the fates of billions of people and dozens of imperial worlds in his hands, which is why you need to be ever more vigilant when looking for seeds of corruption on your planets, lest they sprout someday and spell doom for whatever is tangled up in their roots. Why'd your suspicion fall in there? Disjointed pieces of data that finally merged into a single picture. Additionally, not long ago, a vessel from that world arrived on Footfall. The reports from the crew were confused and alarming, making me fear a planet-wide rebellion. You once promised me a stimulating conversation. I do remember our exchange. For the time being, however, I would prefer to focus on my direct responsibilities. Perhaps later, after Kiabagama. Thank you for sharing the time, Lord Captain. You know. Okay. There we go. Oh, do I still stink? No, I don't. It's gone. What's up, Buttercup? What's up?
Greetings. Yes, I'm ready. I would ask only one thing of you, Rogue Trader. If I may, I would like to see the chamber of the sacred warrant and kneel before the relic touched by the Emperor himself. A difficult conversation lies ahead of us, and I wish to pray by the relic before I lay my soul bare.
Of course. Ah. I don't get long enough. If thou seest a flaw in me, smite me. If thou knowest a fall of mine, burn me with flames of fury and righteousness. But if thou seest a light in me, grace me. If thou hearest this plea of mine, bless me with wrath of fury and of righteousness. For I breathe by the will of thine, for I live by the law of thine. I carry thy word, O Emperor, I bring solace to servants of thine. and ruin to foes of thine, a fate of terror and righteousness of thine. Rogue Trader, we need to talk, or rather, I need to tell you something. The truth. The truth about how I ended up on Theodora von Valencia's ship and about the cultists we encountered on Footfall. I'm listening. Please understand, I couldn't trust you before. I'll tell you my story and you'll see why. I'll start at the beginning. It's easier to piece everything together that way. Upon arriving in the Expanse and on Footfall, I found no purpose here, only torment. I wasn't needed. The reliquary I had been assigned to safeguard was already well protected by Reverend Hieronymus's mission, and no one was even trying to defile it. For all its lawlessness, Footfall respects the worship of the Emperor. That was when Lady Theodora, head of your dynasty, appeared. She became an agent of divine will, in a way. It was from her that I learned about a planet recently discovered by her scouts, Salus Prime. For a rogue trader, the planet was of little interest, a feral world, away from the convenient warp routes. But for me, learning about its existence was a revelation. Please continue. The description of Salus Prime was familiar to me. It seemed very similar to a world from an ancient legend. The legend of Saint Argenta and her ship. Argenta, the living saint. She is my patroness, and the order named me after her. She died millennia ago when heretics caused her ship to fall from the skies. But even those blasphemers could not touch Argenta's ashes or her holy relic, the One Star, for the fallen ship which now served as the resting place for the saints' remains would only allow the truly righteous to enter. All others would meet their death. Imagine what I felt when this flash of insight came upon me. The world where Saint Argenta's ship fell was merely a vague legend. No one knew its actual whereabouts, and suddenly I, myself named after the saint, come across this information. I realized at that moment that this was a portent. A portent, that I must journey to the planet and find the ship, and so I asked Reverend Hieronymus to let me go for a time on a personal pilgrimage. I boarded Theodora's ship and demanded passage to the newly discovered planet Salus Prime. What is the One Star? Apologies, I got so carried away I forgot to explain. The One Star is the relic kept by the Saint Argenta. I belong to the Order Pronatus, and we attach particular significance to holy relics. The One Star is one of the lost relics of the past, so mysterious that no one even knows what it is exactly, of course. Argenta's hagiography at times calls it a banner, or a set of armor, or a blessed chainsword. One thing is certain, it was a beacon of righteousness and it was lost with Argenta's death. I imagine she was thrilled. Oh. Lady Theodora lent her assistance. It was her intention to visit the newly discovered world, and she took me with her. Why did you keep it from Hieronymus? I couldn't just come out and tell him. It was a portent to reveal to me personally, can't you see? I told Reverend Hieronymus the honest truth, that I was going on a personal pilgrimage to embolden my spirit. It really was a pilgrimage. It was as if Saint Argenta herself had shown me the way, commanding me to undertake this trial. If I had found the ship and set foot on its decks, if I had laid my hand on her remains and the relic, it would have been a sign that I had truly been blessed with the saint's favor. You gotta find your place. I thought that I had been called, that finding the ship was my destiny, my place in the world. Perhaps there is something to that. What next? Defeat. The ship's augers failed to detect anything of note during orbital scanning. I was expecting this, though. According to the legend, the ship can conceal itself from the naked eye, and only a pilgrim guided by a pure heart can find it. What I didn't expect was an ambush waiting for us on the planet. I landed there with a small unit provided by Theodora. I know Saint Argenta's hagiography by heart. I know all the legends about her. I followed their obscure clues, the descriptions of mountains and rivers from millennia-old tales, and I was certain that I had found the way to the ship, and that's when we were attacked. The words we heard in the heretic shrine on Footfall, something about ways. Doors, please address me to some lord, the edge of daybreak. Argenta is shaking with disgust. They were the same words as those spoken by the cultists who attacked us on Salus Prime. My whole unit perished. All those honest, brave people I had led to search for the relic. It was only by a miracle that I didn't perish along with them. Excuse me. I didn't connect these events at first. The cultists on Footfall, the cultists on Salus Prime, the cultists attacking the ship and Kunrad's betrayal. Kunrad! What if these are all links in the same chain? What if they've long since infiltrated the ranks of the Von Valancia's servants? What if I, I led those heretics to the sacred planet with my search. I doubt it. No one except me was particularly interested in the planet. Kunrad, on the other hand. He sympathized with me when I first came aboard. He helped arrange an audience with Theodora and supported me in my effort to visit the planet. I never told him plainly why I wanted to go there, but I imagine that Vulture must have figured out that it was something important, something related to the holy faith of the Imperium, and that could delight a heretic more than defiling a relic. Aye. That's why you didn't trust me. Yes, Rogue Trader. I saw with my own eyes how a member of your family showed his true colors as a servant of the archenemy. I had already suffered a humiliating defeat at the hands of the cultists and was afraid of another betrayal. I couldn't be forthright with you, so I studied you, looking for seeds of corruption or the light of righteousness. And what did you find? A man who stood shoulder to shoulder with me and helped eradicate the cultists on footfall. Oh, those are cute. Are those the shirts you got from Grandma? Twinsies! Those are cute on you, girls. Although my opinion of you started to change even before then, back when you agreed to talk to the orphans at my request, a leader who's willing to honor those who lay down their lives for them and to take care of their children is a leader who inspires trust, and the way you acted in that moment. Do you remember? There was a young man whose grief and confusion had driven him to insolence. You didn't turn a blind eye to his misdeed, but you chose the right words to show him the path to redemption. It was harsh, but necessary, like the Emperor's truth, like bitter medicine that helps the sick. I learned much about you in that moment, Rogue Trader, and I wanted to believe that I wasn't mistaken in my judgment. So, just to clarify, you were wounded, so you never found St. Argenta's ship, is that right? Yes, I rushed to Theodora the moment I could walk again, and I insisted on going back to Salus Prime to defend the relic from the heretics. But I was told that the warp had destroyed the old route to the planet and that plotting a new one would take a great deal of time and effort. As if there could be anything more important than protecting the faith and hunting down servants of the archenemy. In any event, the route was lost, and all knowledge of it died in the attack on the ship, along with the old navigator. But now we have a new lead. The data we collected in the cultist shrine on Footfall. I don't care what that reprobate we executed said, there must be a way to track them down. Tell me, Rogue Trader, will you help me in this undertaking? Will you help me find this great relic and return it to the people of the Imperium? Get rid of that cult. Oh. So be it, Rogue Trader. As I stand here before the warrant, the embodiment of the Emperor's will marked by his own hand, I vow that I will not relent until the holy relic has been returned and the heretics punished, and may the light be with us both on this path. Alright. Yeah, kill them cults. I know, okay, so now we talk to Heinrich, talk to Argenta. I know there's another person we gotta talk to. Yeah, bring Heinrich there. Oh, go talk to Jai. Oh, hi, hey, Jai. I don't want to go sit on my throne, although I would like to sit on my... Nice.
Allow me to thank you again for helping me with the cargo, Shireen. I am sure the Ashmags who squirreled away my goods won't give up so easily, and I'll hear more about their scheming yet. Let's strike a deal, Shireen. I will watch your back, if you do me a favor and watch mine. Well, enough jokes. Is there something you wanted? No truer words have ever been said. I'm far more exciting than some small-time peddlers from Footfall. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Jai Amira Fatqin Tamiri Ash Ifrit, the 12th daughter of the Lord of Ifrit, a distant world at the fringes of the Imperium.
Damn these titles. I love
The
them.
youngest child is destined to become a bargaining chip in the family's political games. But I was unwilling to accept such a fate, and wanted to choose what to become and which path to follow. When I learned the Exalted One watches over hundreds of other worlds amidst distant stars, I understood there was an entire world of opportunities beyond Ifrit. All I had to do was break the familial bonds tying me down and escape the planet. Which I did a long time ago. Consider it a mark of my trade. This year, Xenos. Dumb-headed orcs. Who knew that we weren't the only ones to get tempted by the wreck of that raider? As for this treasure, I received it as a reward for a life that had been just a little too good. I was in a hurry to get to the Adeptus Amacacus after the Exalted One blessed me with immense wealth. I was 2 backstreets away from the den when a pathetic ashmag attacked me, envious of somebody else's fortune.
Massive augmentation replacing the internal organs. A slit throat could not have been the cause for installing such a sophisticated device.
I convinced my father I personally wished to oversee the inspection of imported goods. I had to get experience so I wouldn't bring shame on our family, didn't I? I made friends with traders, missionaries, and soldiers at the port. I listened to their stories, studied the charts, learned what documents I had to forge to escape the planet. A kind word here, a shiny coin there. And here I am, in the iron belly of a ship, braving the void in search of a new life. The Keronis Expanse. A gorgeous name, isn't it? But this backwater wasn't my original destination when I escaped, Sherin. Oh no, it was the rumors of incredible freedom that brought me to the Keronis Expanse. Freedom that is generously bestowed upon everyone who can survive in these parts. All doors are open here. You can become a saint, a mogul, a kingmaker, or anyone you like, really. Here, hard work pays off. Unless you're used to lying by the roadside and complaining instead of toiling for the good of your soul, glory, wallet, or whatever floats your boat. I'm used to working hard, and so I found my blessing.
Thank you for sharing.
All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too. Oh, Sherin, I did manage to spark your interest. Allow me to invite you to a more private place. My words are meant for your ears alone.
You mean my room? Sherin, the Exalted One himself, brought us together the day you crossed Vladame's threshold. He led us to the cargo and gave his blessings for its return. Do you know what people on my world say when such a thing happens? What's gained is to be shared with your neighbor. Wanderer's portent. Ooh. Oh, there's Aldari and Drukari. Ooh. In front of her, one contains a polished Eldari rifle, a rare model that contains right sword. I am sharing what I've gained with you. Please accept these humble gifts in honor of our wildly successful, although suddenly struck friendship. Xenos' mastery of their craft. So, the matter I wanted to discuss with you is related to my business. You know that I sell Xeno artifacts to interested Imperial subjects, and Imperial trinkets to Xenos. Business is going well, my network runs even without my participation, but when it comes to expansion, well, that is where I hit a wall. Rivals, envious of my success. Falco especially, I am certain the theft of the cargo was his doing, but I can never predict what that ashmag will do next, and while the Imperium's authority may be fragmented in the Expanse, it could crack down on people of my profession at any moment. Exalted One forfend, could such a lowly servant of the Emperor use the radiant bearer of the warrant like some kind of tool? The other way around, however. If the rogue trader put in a good word for me with the servants of the Adeptus Administratum, I could become an official trade representative of the Imperium. Just imagine it. A little scrap of paper will offer me and my agents protection against Ashmag schemes far better than any refractor field. And even the Inquisition will have to think twice before they mess with me, because I'll be a representative of the law in my own right. And the best part of all is that this will cost you precisely nothing, Shireen. All you have to do is stop by the Administratum Palace and obtain a certificate from the Master of Seals. My informants tell me that the palace is located on Dargonis, your capital world. You see how everything has aligned so wonderfully, and of course I will repay you in kind. How do I get benefit from this? Besides being in receipt of my eternal gratitude, Shireen. Won't it be beneficial to have someone in your retinue with the weight of authority behind them, rather than just another pawn? One slip of paper and I will be able to extend my network to systems far beyond football. Footfall. My agents will be your eyes and ears throughout the expanse. Alright. Exalted One bless you, Shireen. I couldn't find a better business partner in all the expanse. Friendship is a gift from the Exalted One, and we must cherish it. And you will have no complaints about our friendship, Shireen. I may not be a trade representative of the Imperium just yet, but I can still help you with whatever you need. You must have some faction in mind that you would like to establish relations with. The severe Drusians, the hot-headed pirates of the Caspalica. You merely need to use the right words, like a key for a lock, and people will open their hearts to you, or their wallets. I will arrange everything, you merely have to ask. Yeah, well, might as well have one of them on there. Nice. Until you steer your vessel toward Dargonis, the Mercatum Tabula Officiale. It sounds almost as majestic as the Warrant of Trade. Alright, so I gotta think about using some alien tech. I'm starting to get a lot of those. The Coronis Expanse map. Alright, let's see what we gotta deal with. Oh, Janus! Lord Captain, we are once more within the reach of the Von Valencia's protectorate. Of utmost urgency is restoring communication with your planets and bestowing the wisdom of your decrees upon their stewards. Developing colonies, claiming new territories, and establishing trade links. All this is now your privilege. Burden. A vast region of space where you will travel between different star systems. In each system, unique events can occur. By steering your flagship toward them, you can explore planets, study anomalies, and interact with other ships. To switch to the map of the entire Coronis Expanse, click the button in the bottom right corner of the screen. Travel between systems is fraught with mortal peril and takes place in another dimension known as the Warp. Only a navigator can plot a course through the Warp to the other star systems. Click the circular button at the bottom of the screen to have the ship's navigator chart new routes to the systems you have selected. To initiate travel, click the left mouse button on a system and press the Warp Travel button. Greens are the absolute safest. Yellow routes are unpredictable events can occur during the jump. Orange routes denote a high probability of the ship coming under attack, even in the warp. Red routes are a sure sign that the ship will be assaulted by hostile forces during travel. By spending points of Navigator's Insight, which can be acquired by discovering and scanning new systems. Holy! Ho! Ho! Holy cow! Whoa! This is huge! Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. I have a feeling we should do Kiabagama. Oh, standard scanning cannot reveal a route to the selected system, but you can still get there by spending points of Navigator's Insight to plot a guaranteed path. It's safe. Oh wow. Okay. You could be like all around here and then, oh, okay, find yourself there. Back to the bridge. Void ship management. Oh, here we go. Yo, this is the part where, yeah, now you gotta start taking care of your ship. Well, yeah, make Supreme Commander. Argent is gonna be the Master Cannoneer. Sure thing. Tech use, that should be that. Master of Maneuvers, Athletics. Abelard. Well, obviously. Well, oh, we need more lore. Oh. There's different stuff. Makes a shallow warp jump in a forward direction. Range 5 cells. Okay, 1 to 3. Flows of the materium cause an enemy ship to immediately turn 45 or 90 degrees. The enemy ship has suffered hull damage as the abrupt turn additionally deals damage. Huh. Master of Etherics. Awareness. Oh. Communications. Oh, even he has one. Oh, is it shallow jump? They both have shallow jump. Gives control of the nearest torpedo salvo, granting it 5 EMP. Only works. Oh. That's handy. That was cool. Lord Captain, the ship's senior officers request an audience with you. They are humbly awaiting you on the bridge. What are we gonna do on the bridge? What's gonna happen? Load. Oh, it's Montag. Lord Captain, if I may request your attention for a moment, I must report a series of highly dangerous violations that have taken place in the fuel compartment. The Master-at-Arms is ignoring my demands, and I am thus forced to appeal to you directly. The Feelers have founded a sect of some kind. This group practices fire worship of the Emperor and has been burning promethium near the fuel lines. I beg you to stop this madness before we all go up in flames. I should point out that there have been no incidents in the fuel compartments so far, and that the beliefs of this sect do not affect the obedience of the workers or their efficiency in any way. All assemblies are conducted strictly after hours with the permission of their superiors. However, if you find the practices unacceptable, we will put a stop to them immediately. What, they are burning my promethium? The amount of residue accumulated in the drainage tanks was so laughably small that it was not even worth recording. If there were any real misappropriation of the ship's resources happening here, I would have already punished those involved, Lord Captain. They already did. Are they recognized? This matter is beyond my purview. Let Confessor Adalbert be the subject of such business. Oh. The Emperor protects your lordship. I can assure you that there is no heresy festering in the fuel compartment. The sect of the Fire Prophecies has been tested for purity and found to be in accordance with the creed. Their leader, who calls himself the Oracle of Fire, is devout and submissive to his servants. They do not twist the sacred teachings, and as for their chosen forms of worship, these are are rare nor remarkable. Many such minor cults exist in the Imperium with the full approval of the ecclesiarchy. At least he and his flock believe that the Emperor reveals glimpses of the possible future stem in a sacred flame. Occasionally his visions do come true, or so his followers convince themselves. We do not know whether the grace of the God Emperor truly lies upon him, or if he is merely a charlatan, or perhaps a blissful lunatic, or... Oh, this guy. A wicked rogue who possesses psychic power not tempered by his will. Lord Captain, as choir master of the Astropathic Choir, I must be watchful of any threats to the ship's safety originating from the Immaterial. I have heard rumors about this oracle, and so I have sent my adepts to see him. They assert that the man is a psyker. This man who speaks to the warp is a danger to himself and to the entire vessel. Both law and common sense dictate that he should be thrown into a holding cell, tranquilized, and handed over to the Inquisition to be sent to Holy Terra. Alternatively, you may also dispose of him in some other way. We stand ready to carry out that order. Oh boy. This is a dangerous decision, but I will obey, Lord Captain. I will do my utmost to ensure that this cursed soul does not cause a manifestation of the warp. Let's go to Kavagama and visit. Ooh. We're in the main system of Kavagama, the main industrial world. However, our astropaths report that the attempts to contact Governor Gaprak have been unsuccessful. But wait, Lord Captain, a new report. Kavagama is sending in a request to exchange data. Should we accept it? As you command, Lord Captain. Lord Captain, reporting. The Manufactorum is ignoring all other requests and continues to send us its own. The longer we do not accept their messages, the stronger the more persistent the incoming signals become. I've never seen anything like. Suddenly, a deafening screech erupts. Lord Captain, the interference detected in the compartment's boxes is that looks like the bridge is cut off from the rest of the void ship. Oh boy. The void ship's bridge sounds of working cogitators and the officer's footsteps. The everyday scene is interrupted by an ear-splitting beeping sound, followed by lumens going out. In the dim glow of candles and emergency lights, one of the officers in frame cries out. Another falls to her knees, clutching her head. Over the beeping of Vox's shouts can only just be heard. What's going on? The doors are locked. We've lost contact with all compartments. One of the bridge officers turns to the throne. Lord Captain, the Vox stations are malfunctioning and overloading the system. None of our outgoing transmissions are getting through. The incoming ones that do make it are distorted beyond interpretation. Decipher it. Proceed! A team of decryption experts gets to work. The data tethers are inserted into sockets as they connect to the cogitators. One of the Vox clerics leans over the console. Another is writing something on a piece of parchment. But then she bursts into maniacal laughter and stabs herself in the eye with a steel quill. Another scream. A tech priest who was mid-prayer tears himself to pieces with his own mechadendrites. More and more lunatics are mutilating themselves and lunging at others. Portion of picked recordings damaged after contact with unknown object. An enforcer shoves a rabid servitor away from the Lord Captain as he goes to help the crew. The image on the pict is fuzzy, nothing but glimpses of people shouting, racket, and the Lord Captain's orders. Within minutes, the crazed crew members are either dead or bound and unconscious. The officers clustered around the Lord Captain are barely breathing but unharmed. Scrap code. The voice belongs to the on-deck engine seer who has turned to the Lord Captain. We have been attacked with scrap code, a tech heresy designed to corrupt machines. The transmission received from the planet was infected with this taint and is now running through the ship's veins. Omnissiah, preserve us. The Voidborn officer appears before the Lord or Captain once more. Whatever it is that's attacking us, we have a backup procedure that can circumvent the Vox barrier. In the atrium leading to the bridge, there is a terminal for an isolated system that might be unaffected. A loud pop! The pipes over the officers' heads burst, and the blast of hot air flings the Voidborn away from the Lord Captain, his body slamming straight through a cogitator panel. The picked frame spins uncontrollably. The servoscope was jolted up by the gust. The picked recorder fogs over, the Vox picking up the crackling of electricity and a death cry. Gas on the bridge! A junior attendant shouts and instantly doubles over, inhaling poisoned air. The rogue trader gives the crew orders to leave. The rogue trader personally oversees the evacuation. Bring the plasma cutters! Get the wounded to the exit! The officers repeat his orders. When the servoscope following the rogue trader reaches the doors, they fall to the plasma cutters and crumble outward. The rogue trader is the last to leave the bridge. Leaning on a support beam, the rogue trader takes several deep breaths, trying to flush his lungs with air. Then he straightens, smooths his uniforms, and heads towards a goal known only to him. The servoscope follows. The atrium is in a state of panic. Silhouettes skitter about in the dark hall, illuminated only by the flickering of emergency lumens. Curt orders and someone's feverish words of prayer can be heard. Having lost all communication, the beheaded ship is writhing in agony. It takes a while for the Lord Captain to find the cogitator mentioned by the fallen officer. The panel of the isolated terminal is riddled with cracks and bloodstains, and on the floor by the terminal, a tech priest is lying in a heap with his head smashed in technical liquids, mixed with blood oozing out of his ports. The Lord Captain decides to take his chance. The rogue trader rips the power key off the tech priest's mech dendrite and opens the cover on the terminal. Sparks fly into his face, but he is confident in his manipulation of the tangled wires and clanging levers. After replacing the cover and ensuring that the system is restored, the Lord Captain brings up the required data on the screens. Oh my eyes. The maintenance bay is sending out hundreds of desperate distress calls that have gone unanswered up to now. When the machines went out of control and started turning people insane, others driven by some hateful and paranoid logic started butchering the servants of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The tech priests have sustained heavy losses, but the remains of the cult are still holding the line. Out of everything that's happened on the ship, the situation in maintenance bay is the direst. The Lord Captain knows where help is needed most. He decides to maintenance. The rogue trader arrives not a moment too soon. The crew, frightened out of their wits, have already cornered the priests of the Omnissiah and are ready to execute them. The Lord Captain stands between the angry mob and the tech priests, his sheer presence already giving them the crowd pause, harshly cutting off any objections from the crew. The rogue trader orders the officers he gathered up on the way here to escort the mutineers out and set up a guard post outside the bay, where the tech priests begin to offer desperate prayers to the crippled machine spirits. Oh my god. The walk to the bridge is uneventful. The crisis is past. Although the wounded and crippled, the ship nevertheless returns to its normal operation. Life on the bridge is as bustling as ever. Even though the people are surrounded by destruction, the senior officers have the situation under control and the people have been organized. Emergency crew have already finished repairing the pipes, and the technomats are setting up new cogitators and consoles, and the healers are bagging up what few corpses there are and examine the wounded. This is like reading simulator. By the comm station, the rogue trader returns to the Vox Master. Praise the Emperor, you're in one piece, Lord Captain. The situation on board is satisfactory. I was just in the middle of setting up comm channels. Soon all the Vox casters will be fully operational. Another man appears in the pick frame, a junior officer, completely out of breath, carrying a heap of scrolls. The Vox Master nods at him. Ah, here are the reports, Lord Captain. If you find yourself able to return to your station, I can immediately give you a rundown of the state of affairs on the ship. End pick recording. Lord Captain, the situation has been brought under control, more or less. It will take some time to eliminate the consequences of the attack completely, but the vessel is capable of motion. We may even be able to conduct a warp jump if you feel we should leave the system. Allow me to bring you up to date. Fortunately, the bridge has suffered only minor losses. The reports mention only a few casualties that have already been replaced. Kiavagama went silent after transmitting the harmful signal. I will refrain from sending inquiries to the industrial world to avoid a second attack. I am afraid we have exhausted our options for remote analysis. More information can only be obtained by closing the distance or even sending away a party to the planet's service. The time has come to remind you about our agreement, Aubrey. I must be present in your entourage during your expedition to Kiavagama. I am counting on your cooperation. The crew is waiting further orders, your Lord Captain.
Finally, some real action.
Oh boy. There's a lot more in here than I thought there was. Oh. I got so comfortable. I'm just so comfy sitting in my robe here. Nice. Got an achievement.
Not the void shields.
Ow. Ooh. This might not go well.
Crowds the decks,
Ooh.
Lord Captain.
That was tough.